Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد. Know that the life of this world is mere diversion and play, glamour and mutual vainglory among you, and rivalry for wealth and children. God, God Almighty in Surah Hadith, verse number 20, talks about the worldly people who do not believe in any world except for the apparent worldly life. Therefore, their only endeavor is that they should not miss out from the worldly delights and tastes. Their lives are spent in lahwul la'ib, anything that is mere diversion from the remembrance of God, be it our beauty, wealth, position, Netflix, Tesla, or PlayStation. Since the people of this world never care for Allah and the hereafter, they do not believe in they do not do any such thing that has an everlasting effect. Consequently, their deeds prove fruitless and hollow. In recent years, we have seen a trend of excessive video gaming in the youth. Some kids who play video games meet the clinical criteria for an addiction. In this sense, video games dominate their lives. Playing give them the sense of euphoria, or at least a sense of relief from unpleasant feelings. Some kids who play video games become sedentary and experience withdrawal if they're denied access to their games. They might spend too much time on the couch, becoming more sedentary and socially reclusive. They might neglect their chores or homework, and they might fail to develop the ability to entertain themselves. Some signs which appear in kids when they start meeting the gaming disorder is that they think about gaming a lot of the time. They feel bad when they can't play. They're not able to play less. They don't they don't want to do other things that they used to like. They're having problems at work, school, or home because of gaming. They're using gaming to ease bad moods and feelings. You can call these kids Game Boys because they play games a lot. The chart above shows the general aggression model GAM a child has after playing a certain type of video game, like violent or non-violent, and in those categories, online and offline. Some of the popular games. I'm going to be discussing some of the popular games today, but not to name them. I'll be using two names that are not actually the game's name. So one of the games is Overnight, which is a made up name I made. It's a very popular game among kids my age or even younger. It is known for being violent, addictive, and rage inducing in children. In this game, you attack and shoot enemies with weapons and build defenses while playing the game. Players can hear profanity and racist name calling from others, as well as exchange voice chat messages with strangers. Now, the next game, which is a real game but the name's made up, is Goldilocks. This Goldilocks game is very famous amongst all sorts of ages. It is a vast online platform where kids can interact in 3D world. Players are given the opportunity to create an avatar player for themselves and allot a small amount of digital money to rent a house, to furnish and decorate the house. It requires real world money. With cost adding up fast. Players who don't upgrade may be mocked by other players and persuaded into spending more. But why is it such a risk to your child? Well, other than bankrupting you, I see a larger risk, which is the social interaction amongst players. The purpose of this game is for players to interact and make friends. This is achieved by wandering around a vast online world and stopping to talk with players with an unmodered chat feature. Not just that, this game is known for showing bad morals like this world called Jailbreak, which I have a picture up here. In this world, you escape from prison first of all, and you steal from shops. This problem isn't unique to these games. Far from it. Through the online gaming world, wherever games are advertised to children, online predators lurk. Social games like these are often used as platforms to lure children away from the game onto other platforms like some Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and even in some cases Skype. The game invites players to explore imaginary worlds of all kinds. There are a lot of other issues that I deem inappropriate to talk about here. Many psychologists say that the chat function proposes a real danger to children playing the popular game. With limited safety measures embedded within the game, children are open prey for predators to communicate with. Consider it similar to sending a child out to a real world room filled with strangers with no barriers in place to whoever they like to talk to. Let's discuss some school shooting events in the United States of America's history linked to violent video content. The Sandy Hook school shooter had an intensive exposure to violent video content. The shooter was an expert player of violent video games. His role model was the Columbine High School shooter, of course, because he was also a professional video gamer. Now we are what we consume, right? We all agree. Now look at this yummy looking burger right here. The creator of the burger put a certain amount of fat, proteins, and carbs, and they all become part of us when we consume it. Similarly with video games, when we consume the video content, the we also consume the creator's thoughts and ideologies, which he put into the game while creating the game. So now close your eyes for a second and think about this. You're letting your children bring a stranger into your house to babysit them, and they're in their room alone talking with that stranger, and that you're allowing that stranger to put his thoughts and ideologies within you. Now look how scary that is. After all, hasn't Imam Ali alayhi salam has said, surely the heart of the youth is like uncultivated ground. It will accept whatever you throw upon it, and that's what will grow from it. What we consume during our youth is what will grow out of us and become our character. Let's talk about some solutions. Getting help from your doctor or therapist as soon as you think gaming is getting out of your hand. Studies about video gaming are also conducted in the early stages. One therapy is called CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. It is a mental health counseling that teaches you how to replace thoughts about gaming with other thoughts. Of course, parental involvement is the key to treatment. So now we need to look at how to prevent this addiction from getting out of your hands. To keep the amount of time spent under control gaming, try these tips for adults and kids alike. Limit the screen time and stick to them. Get gadgets out of the bedroom so they won't play into the night. Exercise and do outdoor activities so you won't have to spend that time in playing games. Excessive video gaming is also a very common issue in the Muslim community. Is it Islamically appropriate to play games that glorify mayhem, thieving, killing, and magic? Isn't it time that we come together and provide a solution for excessive video gaming and excessive screen time in general within the youth? We need to have active youth committees in our centers to plan youth activities on regular basis and introduce good role models like the prophets and the imams and the people in history, um, and also engage the youth in character building and empower them by teaching them life skills. After all, hasn't Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that there's not a single young person who turns away from the transit world and its pleasures only for the pleasures of Allah and spends his youth in the obedience of Allah until he reaches an old age, except that Allah would grant him the reward of 72 truthful and righteous people? I hope you have a nice time. Now, if you want to check out if you have the addiction or not, please check out the survey. This is a test to see with a few questions. rb.gy/QOPEVA, rb.gy/QOPEVA. I hope you have a nice time. Thank you for listening to me. Khuda Hafiz. Wassalamu